I am fortunate to be here this afternoon with Ken Williams, who will be one of our thought leaders at this fall's SAI annual conference, Make It Happen. Ken, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here and an honor to work with you this fall. Looking forward to it.
Well, we're super excited. I know from my colleagues in the state who've had a chance to learn with you, they were thrilled to hear that we are bringing you in to facilitate our thought leader session for us. So tell us what it is that makes you so passionate about your topic, PLCs, leveraging PLCs, optimizing PLCs. What is it that about that drives your passion?
You know, if I'm completely honest with you, it's PLC is just a vehicle. What I'm really passionate about is helping administrators and school leaders. And when I say school leaders, I'm talking about at every level, every stakeholder group, teachers, support personnel, cafeteria staff, anyone who influences and touches the life of a child, how to create learning for all cultures. And I don't mean the kind that just go on a t-shirt and sound like a catchphrase, but I mean environments where we have the kind of innovation and best practice that leads to equitable learning for all experiences for all kids. And I know that PLCs is the vehicle to get you there, but no one gets out of bed for PLCs. And so I just want to be careful with the terminology. I'm definitely going to work through a lens of learning communities, but nobody gets out of bed. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, man, I can't wait to be a professional learning community. However, if you can convince them and make a case for what a learning for all culture looks like, people will get out of bed for that, because that's something larger than themselves. And so PLCs, that kind of work is the right work. It's equity long before equity became a buzzword. It's the kind of work that empowers educators and convinces them that we don't make a difference, we are the difference. Mm-hmm. And I think these days, one of the things that makes me so passionate is the fact that I'm living proof, along with lots of members of our audience, of the difference that great educators can make. And then, secondly, the reason that I'm so passionate about it is because these days it seems like we're giving teachers and principals lists of kids, and we're not talking about the strengths and talents of our educators. We're listing every kid and the 15 things that are wrong with each one, and then we just hand the list to teachers and say, go teach them. And more, our educators are looking at factors outside our control, outside our sphere of influence, as the major factors as to why kids do and do not learn. And we know that there's 45 years of research that shows us that what we do in schools makes the difference. And I'm here on that mission, using the PLC vehicle as the prism to show educators that what we do makes the difference. That we can take kids that come to school with great background knowledge and extend and enrich them. That we can take kids who come to school with deficits and lack of background knowledge and enrich them and move them to and through the bar. And so my passion comes from the fact that we've got to get back to betting on us. We don't, I think we've lost our way with that. I'm not blaming anyone for it. I'm just saying that I know, and we know, if we had enough time, we could have stories upon stories upon stories of educators at all stakeholder levels and all stakeholder groups that have made that difference. We got to get back to betting on us.
I can feel your passion. This is awesome. I think it fits perfectly with our theme of Make It Happen. When you talk about, the PLC is really just the vehicle, and it's really getting back to us and the difference that we know we can make, and that whole idea of self and collective efficacy. So I think you're spot on with what we want to have happen. And so speaking of what we want to have happen, what would you anticipate would be the takeaways for those who would attend your session? What would you hope that they walk away knowing better and are better able to do?
Well, I'm gonna make a couple of broad assumptions. Iowa's been very good to me, and I've done lots of work across the state. And I know that on the whole, and I'm speaking in broad generalities, that Iowa has been committed to the PLC process for more than a decade. Since my first visit almost a decade ago. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do by telling you what we're not going to do. I'm probably not going to do PLC 101. The nuts and bolts, the very basics of structures, as I believe, just in my experience all over the state, that we have the structures in place. I'll touch on what they should be, but that's just going to be kind of a tune-up for people. What I really want to do is work with principals and our leaders across the state on how to leverage what we know. What I find in schools is that the structures are there. The time for teachers to meet is there. It's been negotiated. Folks are meeting in collaborative teams. They have the time to meet. But the output, the results are not commensurate with the energy that's being put forth. And that will have us lose faith in these methods and best practices. And so I know that when we join the why of the work with the what of the work, when we join that why with the what, because the what we've got down in Iowa, it's that why that we need more consistent and pervasive throughout. I know it's going to springboard our staff into helping to cultivate high levels of learning for all kids. And so the day is, we're going to jump right into the culture of things. And culture is messy work. It gets into attitudes, assumptions, beliefs, and habits that dovetail along with the structures that are already in place. I expect the day to be somewhat provocative in a very safe way. I don't take any pride in, I know I've been to some presentations where all we do is call people out and call people out. I just want to rattle our paradigms just a little, enough so that we can, I believe the gold is in the discomfort. And so I expect the day to be provocative based on our participants engaging at their tables. I expect today to provide some breakthroughs. It's either going to validate some of the great work we're doing or provide some opportunities to tighten up some areas. And I expect everyone to walk out of there knowing what a learning for all culture looks like in spirit and in practice. It's not enough to just chant mantras and have great catchphrases that roll off the tongue. I want you to walk out with the things that feel good to the heart, but also feel good in your hands. And so we're going to talk about those things that roll off the tongue, and we're going to end the day with things that help us roll up our sleeves. I want you to have practical, behaviorable, observable, and measurable next steps to bring a learning for all culture to life in the schools, the great state of Iowa.
Awesome. That sounds great. And I think you really have an appreciation for the fact that we have had the conversation around PLCs alive in our state for a long time. And I think that we are looking for ways to get beyond what should kids know and be able to do and really start to take a look more at those last three questions, the PLC, and leverage that and shift some mindsets and some thinking around that. So that sounds like a great learning option for our colleagues. So thank you very much. We're very much looking forward to having you here in August, and it's hard to believe it's a few short months away, and hopefully it'll be much sunnier then than it has been lately here in Iowa.
Absolutely. I'm counting on that.
Yeah. We'll bring, you better bring it. Thanks, Ken.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.